And again, I'm not armchair diagnosing in my armchair here, but the narcissism of somebody to do this in the situation that they were currently in, and to not think that Team YouTube would actually pay really close attention, or to actually hope that they'd pay close attention, that they'd take her side. It is fascinating how poorly she understands the law, to be simple. They emailed her to say, "Hi Dissociadid, we are very concerned that your copyright notification may not be valid for some or all of the videos identified in your notification. Please keep in mind blah 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 blah. If you still believe that your copyright has been infringed, please explain in detail why you think so. We ask that you provide more detail than what's included in your initial notice." And then they ask her some questions, to consider. How much of your work has been used? How was the market for your original work affected by this use? Does this use significantly transform your original work, or does it serve the same purpose? And that is potentially the most important question. Does this use fall under an exception to copyright protection? Please note that we may share your response with the uploaders. Thank you very much for your cooperation, the YouTube team. And then they provided me with the information that she filled in. Copyright owner name, company name if applicable, Chloe Wilkinson, your full legal name, aliases, usernames or initials not accepted, Chloe Wilkinson, your title or job position, what is your authority to make this complaint? I am the sole copyright owner of the footage shown in the background between 0 minutes and 52 minutes 45. Shown in the background, Chloe. This takes up the majority of the screen and is the video's primary focus. I filmed, created, edited, uploaded and marketed this video content, and it has been re-uploaded, used without my consent, in a defamatory fashion. I feature in this content. It was originally posted to my YouTube channel Dissociadid. This individual does not have my consent to use my copyrighted content. He does not have my consent. Oh well, I don't need your consenting, YouTube know that. So they've just read this and thought, what the fuck's she going on about there? That's a bit weird. And then they've clicked it, and then they've got on the video, and then they've seen that I spent 50 minutes, yes, with you on screen maybe, 50 minutes reviewing a 12-minute video, Chloe. So most of the time you were paused and I was talking. That was not your content. So YouTube obviously rejected this, and she decided to appeal. And these are the declarations that she made and that we all make. I, in good faith, state that I am the owner or an agent authorised to act on behalf of the owner of an exclusive right that has allegedly been infringed. I have a good faith belief that the use of the material in the manner reported by complaint is not authorised by the copyright owner, its agent or the law, and this notification is accurate. I acknowledge that there may be adverse legal consequences for making false or bad faith allegations of copyright infringement by using this process. I understand that abuse of this tool will result in termination of my YouTube account. Authorised signature, Chloe Wilkinson. So I'm sorry to everyone who's accusing me of dead naming her. Do you really think when Blair White had copy strikes that she signs them in her declarations with her dead name? Or do you think she signs them Blair White? Do you really think ContraPoints Natalie signs them with whatever the fuck her old name was? Or do you think she signs them Natalie? Yeah? Chloe doesn't give a shit. Nin isn't real. So she doesn't give a shit, or else she would be signing these Nin Wilkinson. She would have taken the 1 day of effort it takes to sign the paperwork and get her name changed to Nin Wilkinson. But she knows that's not who she is. Nin is not who she identifies as. Nin is just an online alias. It's an avatar, for fuck's sake. It's what you call her in the video game. It is her online world. And I don't have to call her that because I'm not playing her fucking game. So that's when YouTube then sent me the email to let me know that they'd received a this appeal, this extra copyright infringement notification, and this extra appeal, and that they weren't acting on it. They didn't give a shit about it. They just thought they should send it over to me in case, you know, she decided to take legal action, or in case I wanted to take legal action. Here's a screenshot, by the way, of the form that YouTube gives you. Yeah. Like, you don't have unlimited space here. Okay? So, here's an example of my counter notification that YouTube approved and said, yes, we agree with you. Counter appeal successfully filed. And this is how Dissociadid tries to write these legal documents. Oh my god. We're going back to school, kids. Time to do some GCSE IT.
To whom it may concern, I strongly believe that my copyright is being infringed by this user. Under fair use, in some situations, copyrighted content can be used for criticism, review, quotation, parody, caricature, and pastiche. However, this situation far exceeds all of these, and I do not believe it can be classified as fair use, as explained below.
I'm sure YouTube really, 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 really needed you to explain to them, you know, when copyright material can be used. Why? What was the point in this opening statement? Chloe, you're not talking to the fucking jury and judge. You're just filling in a fucking brief legal, not even legal document. You're just filling in a fucking complaint document. What is wrong with you, dude?
My content is being savagely manipulated, twisted, and edited by this user.
Oh no, you mean I'm re-editing and manipulating your content?
In ways that seriously defame both my character and that of my brand, making horrendously triggering.
Oh my god. Yeah, so YouTube, this user is making triggering videos. They're videos that people might find triggering, and because of that it infringes upon... This is a copyright claim, Chloe. This is copyright law. You can't put personal complaints into copyright law. That is the definition of trying to abuse the system. You're trying to tug on people's heartstrings in order to ignore the law. Fortunately, they won't, because Team YouTube deals with hundreds of things like this a day.
Making horrendously triggering and repulsive claims about extremely serious and sensitive topics. These topics include LGBT+ relationships.
When have I made horrendous or disgusting or repulsive claims about LGBT+ relationships? When have I ever done that? Unless you're talking about your ex-fiancé, the paedophile that you broke up with, I assume, for being a paedophile. Remember? That one that left YouTube and is currently in like a mental facility for being a paedophile. I think, are you talking about your pedo ex there, Chloe? Is it triggering to you, knowing that you paraded a paedophile and made out with a paedophile in Disneyland Paris in front of little children? Is that triggering to you, remembering that? Because that's not my fault if that's triggering to you, you fucking scumbag. Also, you know, just putting it out there, LGBT+ relationships. No, I'm bisexual. Go fuck yourself. When have I ever, in any of my YouTube career, ever done anything even remotely anti-LGBTQ? Go fuck yourself.
Torture, cult activity, satanic abuse, ritual abuse, child porn, and child abuse. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, YouTube don't like people spreading these conspiracy theories that they do crack down on. They tend not to give a shit about channels like mine that spend their time debunking these dangerous conspiracy theories. Are you trying to say that Ready to Glare is a bad YouTuber? Are you trying to say that Creepshow Art, they're bad because they spend their time debunking conspiracy theories.
As a vulnerable person, the use of my content in this way is grievously harmful to me and other vulnerable communities.
Why? How? Care to explain why there? You're making a lot of statements and are not actually explaining how or why these things might be true. YouTube gave you this opportunity to explain how these things are doing this. You're just casting out more allegations. Allegations that further prove that my content is fair use. You are so very smart.
It has been particularly destructive to me, as I am a survivor of child abuse, sexual abuse, and domestic abuse. Just a disclaimer, I'm not taking the piss out of the abuse, I'm taking the piss out of the fact that she thinks because she experienced this, the content isn't fair use because she experienced that. What?
And domestic abuse. That's a new one to the list. Can I have the scholars of r/Dissociadid and Kiwi Farms browse the annals of history and find out if she's ever alleged to domestic abuse before? Because chlo, what you doing there, fam? Are you actually now saying that your parents abused you? Is this what you're doing now? God, I feel bad for them.
This user repeatedly leverages my copyrighted content to create and promote grotesque conspiracies about my history of abuse.
No, I don't. No, I don't. You yourself have said in a video that you think your past abuse might be SRA. All I have done is explain to people what SRA is. Soz, chlo. You can't gaslight YouTube as well as your audience. It's not gonna work.
Gonna talk about conspiracies, are we? Okay. The way my copyrighted content is being used by this channel is undoubtedly significantly more than what could be considered criticism.
So what is it then?
And I do not believe this falls under fair use.
What is it then?
This user consistently leverages and manipulates my content to harass and defame me.
If I'm harassing you or defaming you, you can go to the police about that. But I'm not. There is nothing that you can go to the police with because I have never harassed you in any shape, way or form. And nothing I have ever said, done or posted is in any way the legal definition of defamation. You just don't know what these words mean.
And then makes money using my copyrighted content.
Yes, guys. All those adverts you've seen on my channel making me money. That's right. I demonetized my own fucking channel, chlo. In fact, all the way back when I made the very first video about this subject, on those videos I made a very clear point that I would not be monetizing them because I didn't think it was right talking about these subjects and talking about the things that we were going to be talking about in those videos and making money off of it. It felt skeezy to me. I didn't want to do what you do. And so I never have. And I've not made a single fucking penny off of any of the content I put out there in regards to you. Or full stop. Full stop. I've not actually made a single penny from YouTube, chlo. And you know who knows that? Team YouTube. They can see that on my account. So you trying to tell them that I am monetizing and making money off of your content is patently absurd and a lie.
This individual has continually targeted me through multiple videos for a prolonged period with malicious intent.
Not true.
He specifically focuses on my DID, a medical condition that can be classed as a disability.
I don't focus on your DID at all, chlo. I have spent other videos using you as an example, sure, and then discussing what DID is actually in diagnostic manuals. But personally, I've kind of tried to avoid discussing your particular DID.
A former LGBT plus relationship I was in.
Chloe, stop gaslighting. I never gave a shit about the fact that you and Nan were lesbians or non-binaries together. Ever. How dare you? Literally, how dare you? I spent my entire life growing up getting called a faggot, getting called gay, getting bullied for it. It took me years to accept the fact that I was bisexual because of that, and it sucked. I had accepted it many years before I ever heard of you. First person I ever kissed and made out with seriously was a guy. One of the first people I ever truly fell in love with properly was another man. Why do you think I would ever try to come for an LGBT plus relationship or discriminate against somebody for being LGBT plus, LGBTQIA plus, LGBTQIPA plus? I think some of the acronyms can be pretty funny at times. I think using obsessively absurd, hard to remember acronyms for stuff doesn't help. But to begin insinuating any part of me, might be bigoted, homophobic, anything along those lines, is just disgusting and wrong. I'm very lucky in that my cousins are a gay couple, and first wedding, first civil partnership I ever went to, I've been to more civil partnerships than I have weddings in my life. I'm incredibly lucky that because of that, growing up, you know, I didn't expect necessarily parents to be a mummy and daddy, but I got that parents could be mummy and mummy, could be a daddy and daddy. I never gave a shit, genuinely. I got upset and bullied the shit out of because I didn't like that people kept calling me gay, and that people, like, gay was just the insult back when I was a kid, and I hated it. It pissed me off, and because of that, people would call me gay. So no, Chloe, I would never, ever use somebody's sexual orientation against them in any shape, way or form, ever. But paedophilia is not a sexual orientation, so stop trying to include it as one by saying that when I've spoken about your ex-fiancé Nan, it was to do with anything other than the fact that they were a paedophile.
And my personal history of abuse.
Nobody knows anything about your personal history of abuse, Chloe. I've tried basically as well to avoid speculating about it. I've just pointed out in some videos what you yourself have said about it.
He has incited hatred and attacks across other websites as a result of his misuse of my content on YouTube.
Okay, Chloe, do we want to do the maths on that? If you like, I can go find the screenshots of all the of all the comments your fans left me. Do you want me to do that? When Fragmented Psyche said he was going to shit in the troll's mouth, and you told him that you loved it, and that comment had hundreds of likes, and within 5 minutes, I had received more than 20 comments on my channel telling me that I should get raped, murdered, beaten, people telling me that they were going to find me and kill me. On your behalf, Chloe. I said it back then and I'll say it now again. They did these things for you, Chloe. I received thousands of death threats because of you, Chloe. You have not received even a tenth of that. And I have never incited or encouraged anyone to do it, unlike you, who has done on multiple occasions, Chloe. And this is why you're not going to take me to court. You're not going to sue. Hurry up and return my channel. Don't wait out these next 2 weeks. Just retract these strikes. Even now, you are still insinuating and inciting your fans to come heckle me and leave me abusive comments on my channels. Even now, Chloe, as I've shown earlier in this video, looking at your recent statements, you are still inspiring people, inspiring your flying fucking monkeys to do your bidding.
This goes against YouTube's harassment and cyberbullying policies, as well as being an infringement of our copyright. My footage is used in this video for 52 minutes and 45 seconds.
It's impressive considering it's a 12-minute video of yours.
Additionally, he has recently uploaded a video showing that despite previous successful copyright strikes against him, he is still currently editing videos with my content to post. The video shows him editing another video to upload using my content. It shows he will not stop misusing and infringing my copyright. At the end of the video, he says, "Fuck you."
Yep. And writing to Team YouTube, she still couldn't write the word fuck. So they're looking at this. What did he say? He said star CKU. That's fine. There's nothing. Words have meaning, Chloe. Words have power. You should research and look up the definitions of some more of the words you use, and then start spelling them correctly, and fix up your punctuation a little, you know, and just. There's a few things you need to do, Chlo. I can't tell you everything you need to do in life. I don't want to be your life coach.
In the description, he calls me scummy and pathetic and a waste of breath. Where's the lie, though?
Did I say any of that stuff to you? Did I go on any of your videos and comment on them saying that stuff to you? No. You went out of your way. You found my channel. You searched. You found that new video. You've been obsessively watching me, clearly. You went and found that and you watched the whole thing through and you read the description. You went out of the way to do that to yourself, and YouTube knows that. I did nothing there. All you did was act like an entitled, petulant, spoilt little brat.
Therefore,
from all of this stuff that she said that amounts to absolutely nothing.
I strongly believe that my copyright is being infringed.
But Chloe, you haven't said why your copyright's being infringed successfully at any point here. And YouTube know that, which is why they didn't bother looking into this any further and instead emailed this over to me to say that, you know, they weren't giving me any more strikes. In fact, that they wouldn't be giving me any more strikes, that my channel is safe for the moment.
I do not believe this channel's use of my content falls under fair use as outlined in detail above, and the manipulation of my copyrighted content additionally raises seriously concerning issues around repeated harassment and cyberbullying of a vulnerable person and vulnerable groups. Kind regards, Chloe Wilkinson, Dissociadid.
And by the way, third of her successful strikes, YouTube's ordered my appeal on for that one as well. So, within the next 10 days there are no strikes on my channel. Unless you're really stupid enough to take me to court, Chloe. Really have the money to try and do that, because oh. Ethan Klein or Trisha Paytas would say, fucking bring it, bitch. Fucking bring it. You know, guys, this isn't like a video of hers where she can say, oh, maybe I got something wrong, or, you know, maybe I misread something. This is a legal document. She spent time writing that out. And the abundance of lies, the amount of attempts at bullshitting, and her clear failing to understand any of what she talks about speaks mountains. And the funniest thing about every single aspect of this, Chloe, is this is all your fault. Genuinely. Do you know how many subscribers I've gained since you struck me, Chlo? 250 in less than a week. That's my fastest growth pretty much ever. You are your own worst enemy, and I get that that might not seem like a lot to you, Chloe. I'm sure you gained tens of thousands a day after the Anthony Padilla video. But I'm a humble person, sometimes. For me, 250 subscribers is sweet. It's fucking awesome. I appreciate every single one of you. And I try to make that clear by getting around to comments and stuff. So thank you, Chloe. Thank you for unmasking yourself in front of everyone. Thank you for revealing your true self to me with these with this essay you wrote to YouTube. Some of the most wonderful gifts could have ever given me. Genuinely. True insight into just how your mind works. Surprised her name isn't Karen. Peace.